Hello again, welcome back to Football Spy Online on a morning when Chelsea are facing up to the fact that these days at Stamford Bridge they are mere mortals. When Rafa Benitez is punching the air inside but outwardly is making out that he's not bothered by Liverpool's offer of a new £16 million contract. And well, one day Ramos quite simply can't believe his luck. The new Real Madrid manager won't be dipping into the transfer market next month as he will have to work with what he's got. And to be fair, with Huntelaar on board now, he's got a lot. But back here in the Premier League, they are all under starters' orders. Chelsea's lack of depth up front against Cluj last night was scary. An injury or suspension to either Drogba or Anelka, and they are finished, which is probably why the Mail say that they are going in for Middlesbrough's Tuncay. I can't see it, to be fair. The Turkey striker is all right, but he's not all that. And maybe he might improve for being in a better team, but I just can't quite see it. Quite a few West Ham stories doing the rounds today. The Mail say that Harry Redknapp at Spurs will make a £16 million double swoop for Matty Upson and Robert Green. I can see those players going, but that's way too much money for the pair of them. I can't quite see how that shakes down. The Express say that Gianfranco Zola will have to listen to offers for all of his top players with the club in financial meltdown. To be fair, we told you about that last week. And in fact, our own chief football writer, Martin Lipson, says in today's Spy that Craig Bellamy, the man Man City came in for back in the summer, is now the man most likely to leave. Time for your emails. And a few of you have been asking for the address of the Daily Mirror channel so that you can post there. It's youtube.com/Daily Mirror. Don't forget, when you go on there, you'll find lots of different bits of video from film reviews with our top man, David Edwards, to celeb stuff with Beth. She's all right too. I'm going to start with the messages on our Spy Blogs page today. And Tim asks if there's anything in Michael Owen to Villa. To be fair, that's not a bad shout. But I think Heskey is more likely as Villa miss a physical presence in the box when John Carew is not fit. The Spy wants a job. He says that he's heard Jose Reyes, the former Arsenal striker, might be coming back to the Premier League and that Borough and Newcastle are both sniffing around. We'll check that out, let you know. Zayn Mahmood says, you know what I'm talking about when I mention the bunny suit, Darren. But really, I have no idea what you're talking about. He also asks about the possibility of the Arsenal signing the Italian midfielder Daniele De Rossi. We'll check that out for you as well, let you know later this week. Back to the papers. And we're hearing here at Football Spy that Emmanuel Eboué has been telling friends back in Africa that he's had enough at Arsenal, so we're telling you. The simple conclusion to draw is that he's still upset at being booed by his own fans in the game against Wigan at the weekend, but in fact he's upset that he's hardly played in his proper position at right back since Sagna came to the club 2 seasons ago. I think it would be a shame if he went, because he's a good player, even though the Arsenal fans here in the office don't fancy him anymore. But I think he could go to a top European club and perhaps make the Arsenal fans eat their words. Talking of Wigan, the Sun say that boss Steve Bruce wants Nicky Butt, who's out of contract in the summer. I didn't actually realise until I saw this piece just how old Butt is. He's 33. A move to Wigan for him would probably be a good thing at his age. Don't think there'll be too many other takers. Before we take in some more messages, a quick roundup of some lower league news. We promised you that yesterday. The Mirror Spy page says that Lee Cook at Norwich is set to reject a new deal at the club because he fancies a move to Sheffield United and want to get him on a free. The Express say that Martin O'Neill at Villa has lined up a £3 million bid for the Crystal Palace youngster Sean Scannell. Bolton and West Brom, they're both willing to pay around £5 million for the Wolves winger Michael Kiteley. Way too much money for me. What's he done? The Sun say that Fulham want to beat QPR to the signing of another Palace player, Ben Watson. That should cost around about £500,000. More emails for you on YouTube. There's been more best and worst foreign imports. Hannah, the United fan, mentions Cleberson and Eric Jemba, so bad they named him twice as her worst. Our resident Joe Catila says, actually, Jemba was okay. McBlaze says Diego Forlan couldn't cut it in top flight football. And Zane disagrees with me and says that he thinks Thierry Henry was quality. I like this from Mohammed. He says, Darren, can you please get on the phone to Martin O'Neill at Aston Villa and tell him that Kenwyne Jones wants to join the revolution at Villa Park? With Steve Bruce wanting silly money for a 30-year-old Heskey, I think Jones would be a much more astute purchase in the long term. I would love to see the assiduous Amir Zaki at Villa Park, but unfortunately we can't compete with the rubles and dirhams of Chelsea and Man City. Whew, okay, I'll let him know. Crazy Xiao Moran, a Liverpool fan, always nice to have a fellow Red on the show, has given me the correct pronunciation of his name. Sorry I got it wrong yesterday. And I think Hayden Morrison should be our resident tipster for the weekend's games instead of me. He said yesterday, I think Chelsea will beat Cluj 2-1, Drogba will score, and Chelsea are going to sign Andre Arshavin. We'll just wait and see what happens here, shall we? A few more stories for you, and the Star say that Hull's Phil Brown is interested in paying £8 million to take Fraser Campbell back to the KC. Not sure that would be a good move for Campbell at this point in his career. He probably needs to be around good players a bit more and playing in Europe. The Star also take a punt on their back page and say that Juan de Ramos might be back in for Bentley and Lennon at Spurs now that he is at Real Madrid. No chance whatsoever. Just time to let you know that the fat Ronaldo's given up on a move to Man City and has joined Brazilian club Corinthians. And David Nugent snubbed a move to Everton, where there are no fit strikers, to try and prove himself at Portsmouth, where he's not playing, and there are lots of fit strikers. The word doofus comes to mind. Chris is in the Spy office with all the breaking transfer gossip, and I'll see you tomorrow.